Hold on. Hold on here. I thought I had this shared. Stop sharing. Hold on. Why isn't that sharing? We gotta do our trailer first. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to get this to full screen. I can't. I got this little tiny box on my phone.
Huh. Oh, I know why. I messed it up. There we go.
Okay. How do I get the full screen? Wait a second. Settings.
Here.
I don't know why I can't get the full screen.
Well, we're gonna run this trailer right now, and then we'll deal with that. Hold on. Here we go.
Got one of the planes. It's coming after me.
Mitch.
That bird is extraterrestrial. It comes from outer space. From some godforsaken antimatter galaxy millions and millions of light years from the Earth.
Atomic hydrogen weapons capable of wiping cities, countries off the face of the Earth, are completely ineffective against this creature from the skies.
There it is now. Attacking the United Nations building.
The bird's after us, chasing us. How are you doing? For God's sake, hurry, man. It's catching up with us fast.
All right, everybody. Welcome to 31 Days of Monsters. I'm your host, Graham Nolan. We are on day 30, and we got a monster kid with us here. We got Joe JUSKO.
Here we go again. Another day, another can.
The old way.
To talk about what I think is one of the best of the worst, but Joe has a different opinion. He loves this movie. What do you love about this, Joe?
Come on. Look. Did you watch the trailer? Look at that thing. Look at that thing. That is one of the coolest creature designs of all time. I don't care what anybody says. They had a budget of about $6, and they came up with this bird that obviously doesn't look like anything that was on Earth. You know, I mean, we were talking earlier. It's like a Dr. Seuss animal on acid. It really is. It's the greatest creature design.
It's the best description of it. It's a demented turkey vulture.
It really is. It's awesome. And all I can picture is if they ever remake this movie, you got to keep that design and just like use modern technology to make it move around and stuff like that. But why would you change that look? It's just such a cool looking animal.
You know, the thing about these low budget 50s movies that I love is how creative they have to be. There's so much recycled material in here from other movies.
Oh, did you catch the stuff from Beast of 20,000 Fathoms when the guys are running down the stairs by the building and the Washington Monument coming down from Earth versus the Flying Saucers?
Yep, exactly right. So they just all the best stock footage they could get. They used, you know, because they couldn't hire people to actually, do that stuff. But you know, they make the best of it.
But what they did accomplish, though, some of those scenes are great when it picks up the train and carries the train away and stuff like that. I mean, I thought some of this, for what it is, it's so kitschy, but it's so cool, you know, and your mind fills in the gaps, and that's what it would look like, you know. It's just, I just thought it was so cool.
I liked when it was tearing up the United Nations for a couple reasons.
Right. But then there's the scene when it's actually on the nest, when they found the nest and it's sitting on the nest. The frame compositions are really really well done, you know, and with his head coming down and picking up like, you know, branches and stuff like that. I just thought they did so much with so little in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a marionette, you know.
Yeah.
You can see the wires here and there.
Right.
They attempted to make the wings flap, unlike, say, Rodan,
Right.
you know, who had a jet propelled ass, you know.
Yeah. and the head actually, the nostrils flare, you know, and the eyes move and stuff like that. So I mean, for a really crappy marionette, they did a lot with that. The fact that the nostrils flare on it, I found fascinating. You know, I watched it again last night, and I have it on now actually, and because I hadn't watched it in years, and I had forgotten that they actually got that much life into that marionette. You know,
now the actors, you know, are great. I think in this, you know, they've got this ridiculous material, and they act the shit out of this.
Oh yeah.
From what I understand, Jeff Morrow didn't know. In fact, none of them knew what the creature was going to look like. They had to act to it off screen, and then he went to the premiere of it, and he like slinked out of there because
I had heard that. Yeah,
and he didn't want to get, you know, noticed, you know, because it was so embarrassed.
They were all expecting like Ray Harryhausen type effects, and what they got was you know, a puppetoon type thing.
I think they had talked about actually having Harryhausen do it, but obviously he was out of their pay grade, you know.
Right. But really, Harryhausen would never have come up with that bird. And I'm sorry, I love that bird. I love the bird. It's just fascinating. And I also love how when they like out of nowhere they decide that it's an antimatter galaxy that this thing can. Like, how did they figure that out?
Right.
You know, well, it's obvious. And the guy's got this voice, like this resonant voice, like he's so important. It's like it's an antimatter creature from an antimatter galaxy.
And nobody says, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
They're like, "Oh,
exactly."
You know, some of the things that I love in these movies is like they showed it in the commercial there where the general is saying to him, "Come on, hurry up! He's catching up to us fast." And Jeff Morrow's got his hex wrench, and he's like doing something.
Right.
And then they flip the switch, and then every one of them starts looking up to the back as if there's a screen in the back of this B-25. You know, they're all looking like they can see what they're shooting at. And they're all happy by what's happening.
And what's great about this too, that the general you're talking about, he was what's her name's father in Earth versus the Flying Saucers when he gets thrown out of the saucer.
Right.
That's the same guy. I mean, these guys had a whole career making these B movies, you know?
That's Morris Ankrum. And he played a general in every one of these movies. He was always the general, you know?
Well, he had that look, you know?
Yeah.
But what's great too, it's like so they have this core cast of characters, and it's always like at the very end, it's the same guys, that same core cast. Like they didn't bring in the Air Force or the Army. It's that they're in the plane. Those two guys are in the plane at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Because that's their cast. You know, so they have to do everything.
Here's an interesting bit of geek trivia. The fact that you had a 2- and 3-star general flying the B-25 makes it the highest ranking attack mission on film up until the president flew the F-18 in Independence Day.
Right. It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah. The same thing with like them. You know, you got this general up there flying the helicopter.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we can't hire all these extras. You guys got to do double duty.
Right. There were no scientists. There are no special guys who can do this stuff. It's like they're going to do it. You know, it's like James Whitmore and James Arness went into the tunnel. You know, it's hysterical. It really is. When you stop and watch these movies and you realize at the end of the movie, it's these guys doing everything, you know?
Right. Yeah. There's no army. There's no navy. You know, if they are, they're asking them what to do.
Right. That's why, and every one of these movies is like that. Beast of 20,000 Fathoms was like that. It's all that their core cast are the guys who do everything in these movies.
Yeah. It's great though. They're so much fun because these B movies have sincerity. You know, there's no self-awareness in them, which is what ruins, you know, films today, that everybody has this pop culture self-awareness and it comes out in the films. Like these guys, you know, like you said, oh, this beast is from an antimatter universe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I buy that. You know?
Okay, let's run with that. Okay, let's make it sound like we know what we're talking about.
Right.
You know? No, it's great. And the fact that they made so many of these movies back then too, it's like these guys kind of knew that this was the shtick. You know, this is the shtick. It's gonna be. It's you're not supposed to take it seriously, but we are gonna take it seriously. You know, and
Right.
we're gonna make this seem like it really means something. You know,
Right. Right. Yeah.
because the attraction is the monster. They all know
Mhm.
the attraction is the monster in these movies.
Yep.
You know,
These were quickie, fast turnaround films that made money in the drive-ins.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like how Roger Corman, made his money. He kept everything on a budget. He
right.
produced this entertainment for the teen crowds,
They
and
were almost always double features. You
yep,
know,
yeah. And they get the kids. They realized at that point in the 1950s that kids, these post World War II kids, had disposable income,
right.
and they went after it. And
And you know, you can thank, like, them and Beast of 20,000 Fathoms for the whole giant monster thing that
Mhm.
that started back then. You know, and once those became popular, man, it's like Hollywood does. They just shit out a ton of these movies.
Yeah,
You know,
of various levels.
yeah, at various levels of competency. But honestly, I don't think I've ever seen one that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
You know, you just suspend your disbelief and you just run with it. And when we saw these when we were kids, so
Mhm.
it's not like we're comparing them to like the computer generated animation of today. You know, it's
Right.
like kids today think these things look stupid. But I grew up on this stuff. I mean, that
Sure.
movie, when I saw it when I was 8 years old, and I was like, "Holy shit! You know, this is awesome."
Well, it required you as a viewer to suspend disbelief and to use your imagination, you
Yeah,
know, which, makes you a participant in it.
right.
Um, it's sort of like art, like if you delineate everything and you have nowhere to look, you're not a participant. The artist has done everything for you. But
Right.
when you start to blur out backgrounds a little bit and nail focus on certain areas, now you are part of it. And that's what I love about these old movies.
Yeah, and they knew, and like the producers knew that sometimes they had really nothing in this movie, so that's where like Ronald Brown came in. You know, those movie posters sold
Oh,
these
yeah.
movies, sold these movies. I mean, as bad as they were, they made them look like they were the greatest movies on the face of the earth. So
Oh, no doubt about it.
that's a whole other topic, man. Those movie posters were fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't throw your money at them fast enough, and then
No.
when you watch the movie, you're like, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what
I
I
mean,
get.
yeah. I mean, what was it? The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, right? It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
I mean, come on, that poster is incredible. The movie's dreadful. The
yeah,
movie's absolutely dreadful,
yeah.
and that never. And she's the poster never happens in the movie. Obviously, you know what I mean. It's got bad superimposition of the alien.
Yeah.
It's such a dreadful movie. But the poster, man, really, sign me up.
The rumor is that the producer, had was going to get Ray Harryhausen to do the creature, but he didn't have the money for that, and so
Right.
he got this guy in Mexico City to create this creature. And the rumor is he spent $50, but it was a solid 50.
$50 well spent, as far as I'm concerned. Really, I'd spend $50 on that puppet today. Matter of fact, we were talking about this movie, so I went on. I said, "There's got to be. How has there never been a statue or anything of this creature? Because there are statues of every monster on the face of the earth." And I found a resin model kit of the giant claw this morning. So of course, I know
Yeah.
I haven't built the model in forever, but I'm building this one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to share that image. Let's see if I can do that here. Here we go. Okay. StreamYard. Wrong one. Share screen. Here we go. Here's the resin model kit.
How do
That
you
looks
pass
great.
that up?
What's that?
How do you pass that up?
Looking. Let's see. Get some. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Look at
There
that.
you go.
I mean, I think that actually looks cooler than the bird in the movie. It looks.
It's incredibly close to the bird. I mean,
Yeah.
it's they did a great job.
Yeah, it's got like an eyebrow, or so that like it looks angry.
Yeah.
And the eye doesn't look as googly.
I got to find a way to put the hair on it too, because it has that tuft of hair on top of its head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to pull fur off of some stuffed animal I have here or something, and glue some fur on the top of his head.
What is this? Is that just like, does that come with it? The model
What
kit?
does what come with it? Does what come with it?
The fur that's on his head.
Oh, is there fur on his head? I can't see from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's fur on his head.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so maybe it comes with it and you just glue it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It really is. But really, it's just the whole head and the googly eyes and the bright. It's just I don't know why I can't explain it. I love the design of that monster. And if I ever had the chance to paint a cover or a movie poster or something for that thing, I would do it in a second. It's just the coolest creature. It looks super.
It'd be cool to see you do a painting of that in your realistic style too, to bring that to life in a way that it can't move. In the film, flapping its wings, it's
and the legs are always pulled up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Flying,
like
it never
if you
moves.
had it in some type of motion, the wings.
Yeah,
out. I think it'd be.
And
Really
it's like
cool.
it's slowly. I love when it slowly turns around. The wings aren't moving, but it slowly turns. And it comes back down again. It's really funny how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell it's just hanging from wires and they're just bringing this thing around.
Do you notice that, like, when they first gathered the airplanes together to go up and take a look at that thing, these are supposed to be U.S. jets, but they have Canadian signs on them.
Yeah. And all the stock footage is hysterical. It really is.
Yeah.
But then but they did a really good job of intercutting some of like the stock footage of like planes exploding and stuff with him grabbing the planes.
Right.
But he slowly comes up on the plane and he slowly grabs the plane, and the next thing you know, it's boom! The thing is exploding and falling down. It was so cool.
Yeah. Like one of the buildings was collapsing, and then they cut to the stock footage from Earth versus the Flying Saucer, with
everything, all the rubble falling on people. Yeah. They did a good job. They intercut the stuff really well.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite scenes from the time I was a kid was when the kids are in the hot rod and they're riding down the road, and there's supposed to be like a blackout because it's attracted to movement.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Get off the road, you stupid kids!" And like, "Oh, we have salt for his tail," most kids today wouldn't. Oh, there's the bird. It's on the TV now. The big full face of it. The eyes are moving, and it's freaking awesome. Most people today wouldn't even know what that means. The kids, like we have salt for his tail. It's like an old 17th century thing with legend where like people would tell their kids, if you can get close enough to put salt on a bird's tail, you can catch the bird, because it's impossible to do. Birds are going to fly away all the time.
They're not going to let you get close enough to put salt.
Right. So it's the whole origin of that phrase is something that I found funny with this. So we have salt for his tail.
And Daddy-O.
Yeah.
Those crazy teenagers in their
they're zipping down this dirt road and open hot rod, and they're standing up in the car and stuff. It's like they're gonna die anyway. That's
my first thought. They're like barely hanging on. The damn thing is like this.
Right. They're doing like 60 miles an hour down a dirt road, and they're all sitting on top of the car.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, Archie and Jughead are dying today, so it might as well give them to the bird.
I liked when they're at the French cabin after their plane crashed, and they're waiting, and the cops show up, and on the couch there is this body with a tarp over it.
Right.
And the cop goes, "Is that the pilot?" "No, he's over here." That's just another dead guy.
Right. And the other thing I remember from the time I was a kid is like the only Spanish I knew for years was La Cacoña. It's like my brother and I would do it all the time. It's like when we talk about the movie, and the first thing we'd say was La Cacoña.
What is that in French?
It means monster bird or something.
Oh, really?
Like death bird. They talk about it in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's a real word. but in the movie, they say it means like large bird or death bird, because when you see it, you're gonna die. And when he finally after they blow the nest up and he runs away, and she goes, "Wow, so he really did die." Like, yeah. He really did know he was gonna die. Like the dialogue is just, and they look at that such straight like seriousness, such concern.
Yeah. I love Jeff Morrow because he always gives it his all, whether he's in This Island Earth,
right?
As the metal, as the guy from Metal Luna, the scene where they first see the Metaluna mutant, and he goes, "They're not much different than your Earth insects. Bigger, smarter, of course." But he doesn't even skip a beat. Bigger, smarter, of course.
No, it's great. I would love to have been like to get that script and read through the script and just really, what are you thinking when you get this script? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, this is where my career is, or is okay. Well, let's have some fun with this. You could take it either way. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I like Mara Corday in the movies, movies that she's been in.
He's in a lot of stuff. Yes, a lot more than I thought. You know, when you stop and you think, what did I see her in the other day? Another giant monster movie that I watched.
Tarantula?
No, it wasn't Tarantula. It was something else. Oh, I just watched it. Shit, I can't think of what it was. But yeah, she's in a ton of stuff. Surprisingly, you know.
Yeah, she was good friends with Clint Eastwood.
Was she?
Yeah, and after she sort of retired. She was married to Richard Long, and they had sort of a tumultuous relationship because of his alcoholism and stuff. And then he died in '74, and she was raising the kids and all that kind of stuff. But Eastwood always had a part for her in his movies.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You're right. I did know that. I did know that.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. She died in last February.
Well, she was actually, wasn't she the waitress who with the coffee, with the salt in the coffee in Magnum Force? And she lets him know.
No, she wasn't that one, but she was a waitress. It was in one of the later Dirty Harrys.
Okay, because I know she was in one of the Dirty Harry movies. I'm trying to remember. I thought that was her behind the counter.
What was the last one?
Oh, the Deadpool.
Might have been.
The Deadpool was awful.
Yeah, it might have been the Deadpool, or is there something with a line?
I don't know.
Yeah, Deadpool wasn't very good.
No, it was a bad movie. It was a really bad movie.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I can find it. There was a picture of it I saw on her page. Oh, here it is. Let's see what movie this is. Sudden Impact.
Okay, Sudden Impact.
Yep. Yeah, she's a waitress in Sudden Impact.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was one of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, she was. She really was. Yeah, she had that aquiline nose, you know, that from very exotic features. She had the high cheekbone, sort of the pointy nose and stuff like that, but it really worked her face. You know, she had sort of the almond eye, the eyes that kind of went up like almost like half oriental, her eyes. It was just really exotic. She was very looking.
Yeah, it's too bad she didn't stay around longer. I
know what I was watching. I was watching it wasn't a giant monster movie. It was a horror movie. Jesus, it'll come to me.
We got a couple super chats here for 200 Watt Studios for $2. Hey, it's the great Joe Jusko. Good to see you, Joe.
How you doing, guys?
And 200 Watt is back with $5 for the giant claw bird has eyebrows like that crazy leftist podcaster lady. LOL. I'm not sure who that is.
I have no idea. I don't want to get into
it. And JW DJ7XG for $5. Mr. Jusko, how long did it take you to do the 92 Marvel Masterpiece cards? Still have mine in a binder.
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing that set really changed the whole trajectory of my career, and we just did it because we thought it'd be like a really cool thing to do. And to this day I sign more of those cards than anything else I've ever done. Wow. They gave me like just about 3 months to paint that entire set. So I did about 104 paintings in something like 92 days.
Wow.
I didn't sleep.
They were small, right? Weren't they like?
Well, they're 6 by 8.5 inches, but still, it's like, I mean, you got to from concept to finish.
Oh, sure.
It was a really ridiculous amount of work. I mean, I barely slept for 3 months. I don't know how I didn't get sick because I didn't have a schedule. I would like work for 40 hours and then I would sleep for like, a couple hours till I was awake again. And I would work again till I was tired. So I just kind of worked around the clock for 3 months until I couldn't see or I got tired and then wake up and went right back to work again. Wow. I ate in my studio. It was just it was a lot of work.
Well.
I did really well with the set, especially for the time. But it's a young man's job. I couldn't do that today.
Right.
There's no way in the world I could pull that schedule today.
Sure. So say we all.
But it was like, they said that I was doing most of the painted work up at Marvel at the time. So I was obviously the person to ask when they decided to do a painted card set, because that was like the next evolution. They did the Marvel Universe cards, then they had the Jim Lee X-Men set, and they said, well, what do we do next? And like a painted card set seemed like a really cool idea. And really nobody knew what that set was going to become. It just seemed like a really cool project. And I actually thought it was going to fail, because if you remember, it came out like I think within a month of the Death of Superman cards, and
Yes.
Death of Superman was like the big thing that year, and I was like, shit, no one's gonna buy these cards. It's and people just, I think they had enough of Death of Superman, and these cards just took off.
I saw some of the originals. Chuck and I were doing a signing at Nick Barucci's for Vengeance of Bane, and
Yeah, he's got a lot of them.
He had a bunch of originals there that I got to see during the day, during the time that they came out.
Yeah, they're really rough. I mean, they're basically they're mixed media. They're colored pencil, they're magic marker, they're watercolors, they're acrylics. I mean, they're all kinds of stuff. Anything that got the piece done. So they made great cards. They shot down really well, which is all I cared about. But when they blew them up to comic book size, they really fell apart. You could see like the colored pencil, and you could see like how loose a lot of that stuff is,
Sure.
and how choppy the paint application is in places and stuff like that.
Right.
So I wasn't crazy about the comics, but I thought they made really good cards.
Well, that's what their intent was. That was the original is supposed to be designed for the printed material.
And that was the thing. It's like at that time, because it was the first time they did that, we didn't know that they would be printed as books. So guys who came after me were doing larger paintings, because obviously you knew they were going to be reprinted larger at some point,
Gotcha.
So that's why I always want
set too.
They wanted me to do the second set. They wanted me to do the 93 set, and they offered it to me. And I said, because obviously the first set was so popular. And I was like, yeah, sure. I said, so I assume I'm going to have more time this time, right? And they were like, no, it's basically the same deadline. I said, I can't do it. So what they did was, when they put out those comic books, I had done like 5 new pieces per book, so that you wouldn't buying just the same thing over and over again. So they took those pieces and put them in the 93 set as cards. And then they took 5 of them and put them in the tin set as lost cards, the lost ladies. But so it made it sound like they were done for the first set and they just weren't used, but they weren't. They were done for the books. They were done after the fact. So that whole lost set thing in the tin set was all just marketing.
Was that Topps who he did that for, or
Skybox?
Skybox. Okay.
Yeah, so the guys who came after me knew that the stuff would be reprinted, so they painted them larger, so they held together better. So I really couldn't wait to do. I really wanted to do a follow-up set at some point. So years later, I wanted to do like a 25th anniversary set, and Upper Deck had the license at that point. It took them a couple of years to actually pull the trigger on it, so it ended up as like a 27th anniversary set or something.
Oh, okay.
But I was able to take like almost 2 years to do like 135 larger, more finished paintings. So it's a better set, I think, quality wise, than the 92 set. But the 92 set is an animal all unto itself. It basically started that whole trading card boom. In the 90s.
Joe loves seeing the progress of each of your paintings. Will you do a start to finish video?
I did. There was somebody who came out to my studio, I guess about early 2000s maybe, and they did this. He was doing this series called Creator Chronicles, and they were DVDs, and he filmed over the course of a couple of weekends. He filmed the Sheena painting. I did start to finish, but when he cut the video together, he spent all of this time on the Sheena logo and not as much time on the actual figure I painted. I couldn't understand why you would spend half of the video on the logo that I painted and then blow through the rest of the figure. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I was surprised I was able to paint with somebody watching me and film me, because I normally can't do that. I might do one again. I thought about doing an art book actually at some point, like a whole art instruction book.
Oh, cool.
A painting, how to paint type thing, because I think my approach to painting is a little different from what most people's is, because I taught myself to paint, so without any formal training, I had to make stuff up as I went along. So I invented a lot of things that kind of work for me.
Yeah.
That I don't know anybody else would do. You know, I people
Right.
find it confusing that I actually work the way I do. So an art book is something I would love to do. A video would be interesting. Oh, here's the nest. He's on the nest now, and they're shooting the eggs. She's about to do the whole. Well, I guess he really did know he was going to die type scene coming up.
I like the
Uh,
goo that comes out of the egg. Yeah, it's like a Cadbury egg.
It's splort, yeah. It's just splorts out. But the bird, look, the bird's all pissed off now because they just blew the egg up. So the bird is screaming now, and it's taking off. You know, and I love it. It flies by now. It flies by now. Oh, and they dive under the bushes, and you see some guy like throwing brush on them,
Yeah.
like off camera, just like throwing branches on them and stuff, like as if the bird came by. It's hysterical.
What was that? Suppose was the bird throwing the shit at the people, or
It shows it swooping down, so I'm not sure if it dropped it on them or if it like skimmed the trees and shit was falling out of the trees or something.
okay.
You know?
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out when I watched it, whether he was intentionally doing that because they shot the egg or
Yeah, I don't know. There's a shot right after that of stuff falling out of the bird's mouth, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You could read it either way. Oh, Pierre just got it. Pierre just got it from the. He's right. Seeing it did mean his death. I got closed captioning on.
Seeing it. What did Jeff Morrow say? Did he say something afterwards?
Hang on. Let me rewind it and see.
I thought he had a retort after she said
All
that.
right. Where we go? Where are we going here? All right. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. He was right. Seeing it did mean his death. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah. I'll alert Washington so we can make sure there were no other nests anywhere. But he's like, yeah.
Oh man, I love how this guy, he's a pilot, he's a astrophysicist. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got a resume this long, and he's up there on this plane, a moving plane, and he's doing the final calculations on this antimatter weapon that they're going to
fire. Yeah. In the back of because they were supposed to have a specialist come and do this. Well, he couldn't make it, so it's up to you. You have to do it. You know, he's like, okay, so we're going to do it in the plane. So they sit in the back of the plane, right? He goes, okay, it's all yours now.
Yeah. Did you notice, like, when he and Mara Corday were sitting next to each other? Obviously the hull of that plane was made of wood and it was painted silver, right? And you had the structure, the struts going up the sides. Right behind them, like the plywood was busted. It was busted out.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Like he had hit it with his elbow or something like that.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I'll have to look
that's
for
not
that.
good for a plane.
Here are the kids. Here are the kids in the hot rod now.
There we go.
They claimed the fame. Yeah, mom, I'm in a movie. Those crazy kids.
And they're driving like a 1920s jalopy or something.
Dig you later, Gator.
That's it. Dig you later.
Hey, Daddy-o, don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah.
And here comes the bird. So the bird, of course, just happens to be there. The bird flying all over the friggin' world. Right. But here's the bird just happens to be there to see the car. And the rear projection, the rear projection is great because they're in the car and they're driving, and this giant bird head comes up right behind the car.
Yeah.
The rear projection on this is really cool.
It was actually kind of cool how he picked up the car too. The claw came down and picked up the car.
Yeah. Like with the train when it picks up the train later on, and then the train, though, of course, doesn't uncouple as he carries it away. It's like a big link of sausages, and he's carrying the train away, and the train is like all like this whole link of train cars. Nothing uncoupled. They just carried away like sausages.
Yeah, just links.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. All right, let's say
hello. I know what I was watching the other day. I was watching The Black Scorpion, and she's in that
movie.
She's in The Black Scorpion. That's what I was watching. Right. I knew it would come to me.
Richard Denning.
Yeah, talking about the train reminded me because it attacks the scorpions attack the train, which is a great scene in that movie.
That is
that whole it's old and underfunded Willis O'Brien, but there's still some great stuff in that movie.
Yeah, when they're picking up the people on the train and then the scanner comes by and it's that was really cool.
Yeah, the whole scene in the cavern, you know, with those
Oh
worm,
yeah.
with the worm things, and the giant scorpion comes out. Yeah, it really, obviously not the highest budget, but he did a lot with what he had to work with.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of those guys, they go down to Mexico, just like this one. They go down to
Yeah,
Mexico and film these things, and you know, they get it cheap, and you know, it works. It
yeah,
works. Because here we are 60, 70 years, sometimes 80, talking about
exactly,
these things. You
exactly,
know, we're not
exactly.
talking about a movie that came out in 2020, 2021, you
Right,
know, because most of that stuff sucks.
right, right. And honestly, we're the only people who are going to talk about this because these things are never on TV anymore. You know, you
Right.
just don't see them. It's not like when we were kids and they were on channel 11 or channel 9 or Creature Features or something like that.
Right.
It's, you know, even TCM doesn't show these things. You know, they'll show a couple here and there, but stuff like the giant claw you're never going to see on TCM. You know,
Right. Right. Not the modern TCM.
no,
When they
no,
used to show this stuff, well, not all the time, but certainly during Halloween they would show these
yeah,
movies, you know.
yeah,
But when we were
yeah.
kids, yeah, WPIX and WOR,
The WNEW had Creature Features. Yeah,
yep,
it's
yep. And what was it, 1972, for 1 year, I thought it was WOR, had the Thriller Theater. It was on in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. Do you remember that?
I remember $1 Million Movie was on WOR Channel 9 at 4 o'clock, and they would show the same movie 5 days in a row.
Okay, it wasn't that then.
Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't on WOR. Maybe it was on PIX. It was at 4 o'clock. It lasted 1 year. It was called Thriller Theater, and they would show monster movies. And I'd get home from school, rush through my homework just so that I could sit and watch those.
yeah, yeah.
It,
You know, you're
so
talking about you were Thriller Theater with the Hand,
yeah,
or right? Yeah,
yeah.
that was on. See, but in New York City, there was always a choice of what you wanted to watch. Because Saturday night at 8:30 on Channel 5, you had Creature Features. On Channel 11, you had Chiller Theater. So
Right.
depending which movie you wanted to watch, you had to
Yeah,
pick. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it was always a dilemma. It was always a dilemma on Saturday nights for me when I was a kid to see which movie I wanted to watch because
It,
there's no DVR and you know you
no,
couldn't rewind it or anything. It's like you had to choose.
the Channel 5 had actually a horror host, The Creep.
Not ours. Not ours. Just had a montage of monster movies in the beginning, Creature Features. And then
No,
it would show like a 50-foot woman, you know, with
yeah.
the hand coming down and the giant and stuff like that. And then it would go Creature Feature in the
You don't
movie.
remember the guy? Maybe it was the late night Creature Feature then.
We didn't have we had no horror hosts when I was a kid. We just had the Chiller Theater with the Hand, and we had Creature Features with the movie montage opening.
Because I was on Long Island and I used to watch it, and they did an article on it in the Monster Times about, I think it was Channel 5's The Creep, and he was a dude who wore the glasses, and he was out of New York City.
I do not remember him at all. I do
Huh.
not remember him at all. I do have a full run of of Monster Times though, so maybe I'll have to go look for it.
Yeah, I'll look through mine and see if I can find that article and send it to you. I don't remember which one it was in, but it would have been. You know, I've got a bunch of the ones that I had as a kid.
Yeah. Well, yeah, knowing that with the internet, there's got to be an index of the Monster Times on the internet somewhere that tells you what's in every issue. You know, there has to be. I mean,
I know there is one of Starlog.
Is there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Starlog one. It's got all of them.
Yeah, yeah. So I found a full run of Monster Times with the really hard to find specials that they had. All 5 of those specials a few years ago. So I bought the entire run.
Nice.
I have that. Yeah, that's my first work ever is printed in the Monster Times.
I know that.
I was 12 years old, and I did a drawing of Frankenstein, and I sent it in to the when issue 5 came out with the creature. I had done it. Right, that was the first issue I ever bought was issue 5, and I did this Frankenstein drawing and I sent it in, and every 2 weeks because it was bi-weekly I would run to the newsstand to see if it was in there. I was always so disappointed, and then the EC issue came out, and I went to the letters page, and there was my Frankenstein head posted. It's almost like a quarter of the size of the page.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really cool. It says I was 13 because my mother said, yeah, you can't tell him you're 12. Tell him you're 13 because they'll never believe a 12-year-old drew that. Like that 1 year made such a difference. You know, I was a teenager.
Right. Hey, 200-Watt Studios wants to know, speaking of the train of sausage links in the monster's mouth, what do you guys think of Godzilla -1?
I like Godzilla -1. I
I
really
liked it a
did.
lot too.
Yeah, my wife hadn't seen many Godzilla movies. She absolutely loved it because it was the storytelling was just brilliant. It really was. I loved -1.
Yeah, I loved for the fact that the budget was only like $12 million.
Right.
They really made you feel like you were in post-war Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is very immersive.
Yeah. The script and the storytelling and the acting and the cinematography, everything about that movie was great. It
Yeah.
really was. I absolutely loved it.
I mean,
You
there
know,
was
I
some
actually like. I
robotic.
actually like. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say there's some robotic motions to Godzilla, like where that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be a little bit more lifelike, but that's the only criticism I can
Yeah,
give.
and he was a real nasty shit too. When he first shows up, and like he blows all these people away in the city and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And of course, they hide behind a building while his atomic breath comes through and kills everybody else, which was kind of ludicrous. But
Now
yeah,
wait a second.
I
Wait
thought
1 second, Joseph. That's ludicrous, but we've got the flying turkey buzzard.
that's right. That's right. That's right. I can pick and choose what's ludicrous and what's not.
Yes, you can.
And then the other thing always people bitch about -1 is that he's in the middle of the ocean. What's he standing on? You know, have you seen people complaining about this? It's like he's there's the battleship and there's Godzilla. What's he standing on? It's like, okay, it's Godzilla. He's treading water. I don't know.
That's true.
How do you notice on a reef he's standing on there or something? It's yeah, but that was the people. So many people bitch about they'll post that shot of him in the boat and what's Godzilla standing on. Like, that's the big. Here we go. Oh, he's coming down for the train. Hang on.
There could be a subcontinental shelf there he's standing on.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Oh,
Water.
there goes the sausage links. God, I love this movie. Can you see it in my eyes? Can you see it in my eyes as I'm watching the movie how much I loved it? No, here's they're all sound asleep now. It cuts to them in the office developing this one. They're all sound asleep in the office when he blows up the office for trying to get the antimatter thing to work.
Right.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Shin Godzilla?
I haven't seen. Oh wait, I have seen Shin Godzilla. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that.
It was it was interesting that it was different. I mean, there was a lot of talking and a lot of political stuff in that movie, which I never found boring. But yeah, the whole reconception of Godzilla was a bit disconcerting.
Yeah. And the other thing, I think it's in -1. It is in -1 where you've got this organic creature, Godzilla, and he's got like these, like when he's really going to shoot his flames, he's got the spikes that pop up,
right?
Like it's a robot.
Yeah.
I dislike that. I thought that,
and the beams go in like a million different directions, like it's a light show at a Zeppelin concert.
Yeah, and like when he shot that one, and it's like the flame just went on for like miles, and then there's a mushroom cloud, like it was, the atomic blast was like a fusion reaction.
Yeah.
That was a little much, but again,
Are you talking about -1?
Yeah, -1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Shin Godzilla. At the end of Shin Godzilla, when his spines shoot the beams in like a million different directions at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It was like a laser light show.
Yeah. But in -1 is the one where his dorsal fins pop up, right? Yeah. That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're trying to do something a little different with it. I can't imagine that they're particularly thrilled with the American versions of this stuff. You know what I mean? Which is why they're going back and making movies again. Like right after 98 came out, they went, okay, time to stop making Godzilla movies again. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Of the American ones, the one I did like was King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters was good.
Yeah.
Well, it had Ghidorah in it, and Ghidorah is like my favorite giant monster.
He's the villain.
But he's just another really ridiculously cool design.
And Rodan looks so cool in that movie.
Yeah.
And Mothra, all those kind of B-level Godzilla light creatures looked much better in the American version than they did.
Yeah, I thought that movie was great. I really did.
Yeah.
I loved that. It was really harkened back to the old Toho movies. You know,
Yeah,
it had all
yeah.
the monsters in it and stuff like that, and Ghidorah just looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
And then they lost their way with the whole King Kong and Godzilla thing. That was
Yeah, now it's a buddy movie, you know, which
Yeah.
doesn't make a whole lot. I thought Skull Island was great. Skull Island is
Skull
Skull
Island was
Island and
good.
King of the Monsters are my two favorite of the legendary movies. You know, I thought Skull Island was great. I loved Skull Island.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. But when the two of them met, it was like they wanted to do a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now King Kong has Mjolnir, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
he's unique. And now he's got his own weapon and
Right. And then there was that. Then they had the foe. There was the bad ape, and then there was the ice lizard, and the other one that got realized. So yeah, they basically turned them into Marvel movies.
and
It's the two of
Godzilla
them
can
now.
shoot his flame to the center of the earth.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't know. We can sit here and talk all the stuff that's ludicrous in those movies to begin with. It's just I don't get it. I don't know. I know.
But I believe in an antimatter vulture. That I can buy.
But and the fact he's on top of the Empire State Building now. There he is.
That's a pretty good set. Oh, that's
It's-
your model. That's your model kit.
That's the model. It's the model kit. Yeah. And all the people, I love all the people when you see their expressions and you know they don't have no idea what they're looking at, you know, and they're trying to look scared, but they're not, you know.
Yeah, there's the one woman who's looking off screen and she just bursts into a scream. For no reason at one point. And people start running behind her. It's like, what is she looking at?
He just dropped the building and here comes down. It exploded. And here comes. There you go. There's more stock footage from other movies. Yeah, it's just great. It's great.
Oh, man. All right, gang. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming in here. Thanks for those super chats. I want to thank Joe for coming in and sharing his love for these monster movies.
Well, if no one, and honestly, if you've never seen The Giant Claw, it's on Tubi for free.
Yep.
Really, I highly recommend watching this movie just to experience what we watched when we were kids.
Yep. Yeah, just throw disbelief out the window and enjoy it as a popcorn film for what it is.
And tell me that is not a great creature design. I defy you to tell me that's not a great creature design.
There, he's thrown down the gauntlet. So pick it up and run with it. So tomorrow will be our finale of the 31 days, and we're gonna revisit James Whale's classic 1931 Frankenstein, my favorite Universal monster of all time.
You know, everybody talks about Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the better movie for me.
Yeah.
Because it's much more moody. It doesn't have the ridiculous subplots. You know, it's like Bride of Frankenstein with the little people.
Yeah.
I found really stupid. Una O'Connor annoyed the crap out of me.
Yes.
In Bride of Frankenstein,
Yes.
You know,
and she just shows up.
Right.
She could be miles away and she shows up in a scene.
Right,
You know,
right. I know the screaming and the pantomime and the comic stuff. It just Frankenstein from start to finish is just a great movie.
Yeah.
You know,
The order for me is Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, then Bride.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I just watched Son of Frankenstein the other day again for the first time in
That
in
one is
years.
so great, and Basil Rathbone and his histrionics is amazing.
Right.
So fucking funny.
But I can't watch that movie with Lionel Atwell with the arm without thinking of Young Frankenstein with the darts in the arm. I go right back to that, you know, and I keep waiting to see it in this movie going, oh, it's not this movie. He doesn't stick the darts in his arm in this movie.
Perhaps you think I whipped them up like an omelet. And there's that one point where he's looking at the inspector and he's got this trying to control himself. I freaking love that movie. And then of course it's one of Bela's greatest performances.
Oh, it really is. It really is. Yeah. And it's funny though, because you expect him to be, when he's walking around you with the broken neck, you kind of think he's going to be like a hunchback type guy, and you realize he's like 6'1". You know, you see him walking around, he's a big tall guy. You know,
he's taller than Karloff. Karloff is only 5'11". You know,
So it was. There were a couple of scenes where I saw him walking around, like the sulfur pit scene set, and you realize he's like 6'1".
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
Yeah, Rathbone was like 6'2". And then he's right up there with him, even with his neck creaked, you know.
Right.
But
Yes, but my favorite scene in Son of Frankenstein is the guy on the coach driving by on the wagon, and Carlos swings off the tree and grabs him by the throat.
oh yeah,
You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where Lugosi sends him out, Igor sends him out to kill the guy.
yeah,
And he just swings off a tree like a monkey and grabs the guy by the throat. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just such a stupid scene, but it's like, okay, I'll buy that.
I love the monster in that too. It's like from the first two movies, he's fed up with everything, you know.
Yeah,
He's just gonna fucking kill, and he's an automaton now, and
Yeah.
he's gonna kill. And then when he's all pissed off because Igor got killed, and he grabs the book and he's about to throw it, and then
Right.
he sees it,
Right,
and he
right,
sees
right.
the kid's book, and then he gets this evil look on his face. So like,
Right.
is
He's
he
like
gonna
the
kill
side,
the
he
kid?
smiles like,
Yeah, is he gonna kill the kid? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, he was going to. He picked him up to throw him into the sulfur pit and went, put him down. You know, it's like, so it's like he's not totally evil. You know,
Yeah.
which he was never supposed to be. You know, it was
Right.
he was just like the girl in the water. It was
Right.
just an accident. You know, he's that feeble minded.
Yeah.
But you could see in Son of Frankenstein the years that have gone by, and because Karloff now is heavier, his face is heavier and more bloated. You know, he looks older.
Yeah.
You know, you can definitely see that he's not the ageless monster he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? He's definitely getting up there.
It was 8 years between them, right?
Yeah.
So that's a long time, and he was already middle aged,
Right.
and you know he was so cadaverous in the first one because he was out of work, and you know he wasn't couldn't afford all the
They
nice
tried to
things.
get the sunken cheeks back in Son of Frankenstein, just couldn't do it because he was all jowly and stuff. You know?
Yeah. In fact, he celebrated his 50th birthday on the set.
Did he?
Yeah, of Son. But gang, so tomorrow is Frankenstein, and we're gonna roll this one over because Shanu 77 launches tomorrow on Indiegogo at 1:00. So if you're already signed up or following the campaign, you'll get a notification for that it goes live at 1:00. Then at 9:00 p.m. we'll do an official party stream, and we'll get her going there. But if you want to get the 24-hour CG King's sketch cover, it's only up for 24 hours. So make sure you're signed up so you get that notification so you can bag one of those, because after the 24 hours, the only way you can get that is in the Ultimate Collector's box. So if that's something you're interested in, vote or back early and back often. So pretend you're from Chicago. Let's do that. All right. So everybody, you have a great day, and we'll see you for the big day tomorrow. And thank you, Joe, for coming on. And
Thank you, everybody, for showing up to watch, and thanks, Graham. This was fun.
Absolutely.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.